Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to a Common Ground on the Hill Traditions Week concert. And this is our first concert of our three-week run here at the Mid-Maryland Folklife Center on the campus of McDaniel College in Westminster, Maryland. Actually, we're not there. We're virtually everywhere, as are you. And we hope you're ready for a fun concert with people who are teaching classes at Common Ground on the Hill this week. And just to let you know, we will be doing concerts every night this week and for the following 2 weeks. So stay tuned to the Common Ground on the Hill website. Well, you already know that because you're here. And I'd like to introduce our first act. You're in for some magic tonight. I think we all need a little magic. This pandemic hasn't had much magic to it at all. In fact, it's been all too predictable. But I'm going to predict that there's no predictability in the magic of Dave Thomen. Welcome, David.
Hello. Hello. Well, I know. Wait. Hold on. I've been wearing a mask performing in person here for the last few months, and I'm a little confused, Walt. We are virtual here tonight, and I'm coming to you here from my home theater. So, hey, everyone, it is time to remove this mask. But before I do, know this. My wife and I, our family, were fully vaccinated. In fact, I'm Team Moderna. And during the pandemic, I had to find a way for people to see my smile wearing a face covering, wearing a face mask. How about that, everyone? Yeah, the only problem is I need to have both hands free to do the magic tonight, so I'm not going to use that microphone. And let me remove this face covering here, everyone. It is wonderful to be with you here tonight. This is my third year performing for Common Ground on the Hill. Thank you, everyone, teachers, Maria, Walt, everyone, for everything you do. And furthermore, for this concert, it is time for magic. It is time to stretch the boundaries of our mind. And for me, I use a wand. There it is, everyone. Some magic for you. It is definitely time. Thank you, everyone, for some magic. In fact, what has been wonderful is 10 students are with me this week with the basic art of magic. And yesterday, they learned how to take a wand and make it float. Now, I explained to our students that the reason magicians do not tell secrets because no one's impressed with a secret. The trick which the secret is used is everything. So I thought I would give up that one tonight, and the fact that we had a chance to do this live in 2019 and the last 2 years now virtually. It is wonderful. Walt and I met in 2018 at the Carroll County Cultural Expo. Walt, you probably remember that. You were there at the booth and you asked me to give you a little sample of how I make a living, which we did. I recall some $1 bills turning into 100s. And you immediately asked me if I teach magic. And of course, my answer was yes, because the 100s turned back to ones. I am not retired. So I took that responsibility, and 3 years later, we are having a wonderful time. I've been thinking of ways to even use the pandemic face coverings we've been required to wear. We have different bandanas, this one looking like a cheetah cat. We have more pets than people in our home. In fact, our cat, Sophie, she's trained very well. And if I say stay, Sophie will stay. So by the way, I want you to know everything you're seeing, you could be seeing live. I entertain weekly at a restaurant right here in my hometown, Hampstead, Maryland, called Greenmount Station. I'm there every Wednesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. walking around doing magic. I was retired last year, but I'm back. I started there in 2011. In fact, it's great to be part of the Maryland folk life family. And I got to thinking about tonight's magic and what we could do to share with this audience how people learn the ropes of magic. You know, learn the ropes is what old timers like me say when we refer to learning something. And if we're going to learn the ropes of magic, well, I'm going to end tonight with ropes. In fact, I have ropes, the colors of the Maryland Folklife Center here. Yes, our colors of our state flag. In fact, when I was in Scouts, I got interested in magic, and I thought it would be quite amazing to take 4 different pieces of rope and tie them together and bring them together with magic. In fact, I soon found what I was doing was something I really loved. I'll ask my audience, do they know what kind of knot that is? Do you know? Well, let me tell you what it's not. It's not a square knot. It's not an overhand knot holding these 4 ends together. It's not a sheep knot or a reef knot. It's not a waist knot or a what knot. It's not even a forget-me-not. Don't let me forget to tell you what kind of knot this is. Everyone, this knot, along with the other one I tied, these are not knots. Not knots. N-O-T-K-N-O-T, not knots. They are not really knots. Now, I know you're seeing 4 pieces of rope, different colored pieces of rope tied together, but understand that the knots I'm using, everyone, are simple not knots. Why? A knot. One of the great things about Common Ground on the Hill is how these last 2 years virtually, we've been able to teach cultures and teach art from all around the world. In fact, one might say that Common Ground has traveled during this pandemic. I mean, if you're going to decorate eggs and learn that skill, why not learn it from someone in Bolivia? Yes, a knot, because Common Ground, everyone, in 27 years is traveling. What do you think, everyone? You know, when I share this magic with children, I like to share with them that these ropes are kind of like people. In other words, they look different, but yet we're the same. You know, some of us have red hair, some of us have blonde, some of us have black, and in my case, yikes. But see, what it comes down to is even though these ropes are different, we're the same. And like people, we should celebrate our differences. We should celebrate different cultures and learn how we can be together. 3 knots. And the Maryland Folklife Center, represented in the colors of our state flag. Let's not forget that in these 27 years of Common Ground, what Walt Michael, the executive director, has done for everyone is basically ensured our freedoms. So thank you, Common Ground on the Hill. I believe my time is running out. In fact, you know my time is running out whenever the wand that produced out of the watch, well, I simply take that watch, everyone, and I capture time, because we all know that past is history, the future a mystery. Tonight is a gift, which I call it the present. Thank you for your presence, everyone here. And I look forward to participating in more concerts here over the next few weeks. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, David Thomen. Wow. I was waiting for a not joke. So great to have you back. And folks, you should know you can learn magic from David in the classes he teaches at Common Ground on the Hill. In fact, I'm thinking that sooner or later, none of this is going to make any sense. It's just going to be magic everywhere. It's great. Thank you so much, Dave.
Thank you.
And wow, it's magic. You know, in the UK, especially in Scotland, something that's really great, they'll say, that's magic. So there we go. That's magic. Our next performer, we couldn't live without these days. Phil Spiess is our engineer who brings so much of our programming to us. And he's teaching a great class this week, teaching people how to use GarageBand. I think it's probably the least used wonderful application these days in the digital world. But Phil's showing you how to make your music and record it. So we're happy to say that Phil has retired from the firefighting realm, and he doesn't look like a firefighter anymore. He looks like he's maybe in Colorado. I think he might be in Colorado at this very moment, about 12,000 feet high. Make welcome Phil Spiess.
Hey everybody, how's it going? So, the pandemic took away one of the great American songwriters that I'd rank there up with Dylan and many of the others more historical. We lost John Prine to the pandemic, and so I think one of the last virtual concerts for the Common Ground Festival, I think it's only right to play John Prine. And even though we have a new president in the White House, one that seems to fit more with how things should be, I think we all need to remember that what is going on in the White House should be ground zero. It's an improvement from what we had, but we have a lot of work to do as a country to rebuild from where we were, and we have a lot to do as a country to gain progress. So as we come up on the 4th of July, I'd like to play for you all a John Prine song. Bought a jest in Reader's Digest in the back of a dirty bookstore, and a plastic flag with gum on the back fell out on the floor. Well, I picked it up and I ran outside, slapped it on my window shield, and if you could see old Betsy Ross, I'd tell her how good I feel. Because your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. They're already overcrowded from your dirty little war. Now Jesus don't like killing no matter what the reason's for. And your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. Went to the bank this morning and the cashier said to me, if you're going to join the Christmas club, we'll give you 10 of them flags for free. I didn't mess around a bit. I took him up on what he said, and I stuck them stickers all over my car and one on my wife's forehead. But your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. They're already overcrowded from your dirty little war. And Jesus don't like killing no matter what the reason's for. And your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. I got my window shield so filled up with flags that I couldn't see. So I ran my car upside a curb and right into a tree. By the time they got the doctor down, I was already dead. And I'll never understand why the man standing at the pearly gates said, but your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. We're already overcrowded from your dirty little war. And Jesus don't like killing no matter what the reason's for. And your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. Well, since Common Ground takes place in Maryland, I figured I'd kind of retool the chorus a little bit. Well, your crab decal won't get you into Maryland anymore. We're already overcrowded from you visiting from the shore. And Jesus don't like taffy no matter what the reason's for. And your crab decal won't get you into Maryland anymore. Thank you all. Can't wait to see you all next summer.
Thank you, Phil Spiess. All right. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, we sure do miss John Prine, don't we? Man, oh man. That fellow wrote so many great songs, great, wonderful songs. I went to see John Prine in concert a few years ago and was amazed. The sound wasn't very good at this concert, so I was following his lyrics on my cell phone and tapped into, his list of songs. They virtually wrote hundreds of great songs. We really miss him. He was a real voice of the true voice of America, I think. Well, next we have, all the way from Arizona in the borderlands, our good friend Randy Mayer, who is the minister at the Church of the Good Shepherd in Sahuarita, Arizona, where there's an amazing food bank and a whole bunch of volunteers who comb the desert looking to find people that they can help, putting water out, doing work on either side of the border to help immigrants and people who are in dire trouble. A few years ago, we established a sister organization with those folks, and now exists Common Ground on the Border. So in January, if you're looking for something good and righteous to do and enjoyable, you can head on out to Common Ground on the Border. Be sure to check that out. But I'll get out of the way of Randy Mayer. He's, I think, originally from, it's either Montana or Wyoming, one of those big places out there. And he's quite a good musician. He's a great preacher and leader. And I think one of these days he's just going to take that banjo and walk out into the sunset. I just know he loves music. Make welcome Randy Mayer.
All right. Thank you all. And we do invite everybody to come out to Common Ground on the Border. That will be happening the 13th, 14th, and 15th of January. Everybody's welcome, and we really enjoy having people. We've had lots of folks that have come from Common Ground on the Hill to learn about Common Ground on the Border. And so sign up early. I know we have some information on the Common Ground on the Hill website, and our website will be, our catalog will be going up online coming in mid-July, so look for that. Well, I'm going to sing a song that was written by Lori Wyatt and was made popular by Pete Seeger, so you'll probably know it, and feel free to sing along. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí, we are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me. The stream sings into the river sings into the sea sings into the boat that carries you and me. Well, you're probably all saying, what in the world is a guy from Arizona singing about boats and the mar, about the sea? Well, this next week on July 3rd, we have our annual Flood the Desert event, which is a time where all the humanitarian groups show up and flood the desert with humanitarian aid for our brothers and sisters that are out walking in the desert. It's an incredible event because humanitarian aid is never, ever a crime. We need each other. We need our brothers and sisters. And that's what happens when we work together. This desert is absolutely deadly. And over the last number of years, it's become like a pressure cooker. Not only is it deadly hot right now, it's been 115 degrees in the desert, but the pressure from all of these anti-immigrant legislation and policies have made it just so bad that migrants are having to cross now in horrible conditions in the most deadly parts of the desert. And so we need to be there. We need to be present to give water, food, and medical care to our brothers and sisters. So very much this song that Pete Seeger and Lori used to sing, Somos el Barco, is so important for us to sing. And so sing it with me. Somos el barco, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat. We are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me. So with our hopes we set the sails and face the winds once more. And with our heart we chart the waters, never sailed before. So el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me. Come to the desert and be part of the humanitarian aid that is never a crime. Thanks.
Randy Mayer, thank you so much, Randy. And yes, I can't say enough how important it is for the work that you and all the folks at the border are doing. Imagine to be in the desert in this heat with no water. We have a lot to get figured out, don't we, folks? We have a lot to get figured out. And thanks so much for singing a song that Pete used to sing. We miss Pete Seeger. Pete was on our original advisory board. I asked Pete if he would join our advisory board, and he says, well, I'll do it on one condition, that you don't ask me to do anything except give you one good piece of advice a year. I thought that was pretty great, and it worked out. And in fact, he did come and sing for us a couple of times and helped us raise money. What a wonderful human being, and how we all strive to even begin to comprehend that kind of work. Well, our next folks come to us from the Mary and Ira Zepp Center for Nonviolence and Peace Education. And they are teaching classes this week in nonviolence and stories of the civil rights movement. So I make welcome all the way from Uniontown, Maryland, which is about 5 miles up the road, Pam Zappardino and Charlie Collyer.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you,
all.
Walt. Well, Walt had a great mentor who was also a mentor to us, Ira Zepp. And Ira used to lead a course at Common Ground and in other ways called Malcolm and Martin. And it focused on Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And Ira was very struck by the fact that those two seemed to be coming closer together toward the end of their lives. So I have some quotes from Malcolm and Martin. These are just a few of the quotes that Ira had in a collection. And I'm going to read them. And as I read them, try to imagine to yourself who is speaking. Is it Malcolm X or is it Martin Luther King? And I won't keep you in suspense. I'll tell you at the end of each quote. But this will give you a flavor of Ira's interest in these two guys. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Martin Luther King. I believe in human beings, and that all human beings should be respected as such, regardless of their color. Malcolm X. The only way we can really achieve freedom is to somehow conquer the fear of death. Martin Luther King. If you're not ready to die for it, put the word freedom out of your vocabulary. Malcolm X. Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Martin Luther King. A wise man can play the part of a clown, but a clown can't play the part of a wise man. Malcolm X. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Malcolm X.
I hope you thought correctly or saw what Ira was, the point Ira was trying to make about how they were beginning to interweave toward the end. I'm going to take us a little more globally. In fact, I'm going to take us to Africa and the West African nation of Liberia. And in the last decade of the 20th century, and overspilling into the turn of this century, there was a horrific civil war going on in Liberia. And that war was ended in large part by the Liberian Women's Peace Initiative. And for their work in 2011, some of the leaders of that initiative received the Nobel Peace Prize. And I'm just going to read a couple of excerpts from the speech given by the leader, Lema Gabawi. And she said that in early 2003, 7 of us women gathered in a makeshift office, conference rooms, to discuss the Liberian Civil War and the fast approaching war on the capital, Monrovia. Armed with nothing but our conviction and 10 United States dollars, the Women of Liberia Mass Action for Peace campaign was born. We used our pains, broken bodies, and scarred emotions to confront the injustices and terror of our nation. We were aware that the end of the war will only come through nonviolence, as we had all seen that the use of violence was taking us and our beloved country deeper into the abyss of pains, death, and destruction. The situation in Liberia in those war years indeed reaffirmed the profound statements of a former Nobel laureate, the late Dr. Martin Luther King, when he said, "Violence never brings permanent peace. It solves no social problem. It merely creates new and more complicated ones." The Women's Mass Action Campaign started in one community and spread to over 50 communities across Liberia. We work daily confronting warlords, meeting with dictators, and refusing to be silenced in the face of AK-47s and RPGs. We walked when we had no transportation. We fasted when water was unaffordable. We held hands in the face of danger. We spoke truth to power when everyone else was being diplomatic. We stood under the rain and the sun with our children to tell the world the stories of the other side of the conflict. Our educational backgrounds, travel experiences, faiths, and social classes did not matter. We had a common agenda: peace for Liberia now. We succeeded when no one thought we would. We were the conscience of the ones who had lost their consciences in their quest for power and political positions. We represented the soul of the nation. No one would have prepared my sisters and I for today, that our struggle would go down in the history of the world. Rather, when confronting warlords, we did so because we felt it was our moral duty to stand as mothers and gird our waist to fight the demons of war in order to protect the lives of our children, their land, and their future. There are many examples globally of such struggles by women. I believe that the prize this year not only recognizes our struggle in Liberia and in Yemen, it is recognition and honor of the struggles of grassroots women in Egypt, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the Côte d'Ivoire, Tunisia, in Palestine and Israel, and in every troubled corner of the world. This prize could not have come at a better time than this time, when global and community conversations are about how local community members and unarmed civilians can help turn our upside-down world right side up. It has come at a time when unarmed citizens, men and women, boys and girls, are challenging dictatorships and ushering in democracy and the sovereignty of people. Yes, it has come at a time when in many societies where women used to be the silent victims and objects of men's powers, women are throwing down the walls of repressive traditions with the invincible power of nonviolence. Women are using their broken bodies from hunger, poverty, desperation, and destitution to stare down the barrel of the gun. This prize has come at a time when ordinary mothers are no longer begging for peace, but demanding peace, justice, equality, and inclusion in political decision-making. I must be quick to add that this prize is not just in recognition of the triumph of women. It is a triumph of humanity. To recognize and honor women, the other half of humanity, is to achieve universal wholeness and balance. We must continue to unite in sisterhood, to turn our tears into triumph, our despair into determination, and our fear into fortitude. There is no time to rest until our world achieves this wholeness and balance, where all men and women are considered equal and free. Thank you. And remember that we're hoping to start our nonviolence tours up again in January. We're not positive, but keep tuned to the Common Ground website. There will be some announcements on there when we get started again.
All right. Charlie Collyer and Pam Zappardino from the Zepp Center. And yes, as they mentioned, another great thing you can do in the winter is go on a civil rights tour. You get on a bus, do a lot of singing, and cover more territory than you can imagine in a weekend. So those are two great things that Common Ground on the Hill supports. The Zepp Center tours of the civil rights movement and, of course, Common Ground on the Border. Our next performer, I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Yeah, I got it right. Our next performer has been to the border. He's been everywhere Common Ground has been over the years. Jesse's been with us a lot, and I hope he'll tell us quickly about the song that he produced and video, which is really quite something, which involves Leah Gilmore and some other great singers. And it made quite a splash, and I believe won a Whammy, which is a Washington Area Music Award. So make welcome, and he's teaching once again piano for people who maybe dropped piano when they were 7, as I did, because I wanted to play music and I didn't want to play scales, or and also learning to make music and to heal in that process. Make welcome, I think still from Silver Spring, maybe Tacoma Park. I'm not quite sure where he is these days, but make welcome Jesse Palidofsky.
Thanks, Walt. It's such a pleasure to be back with folks, to hear Charlie and Pam, and having been on the historic civil rights pilgrimage and having been to Common Ground on the Border. And Common Ground on the Hill has been life-changing for me, literally. All of the richness culturally and socially, spiritually. So I'm so grateful to Walt and to everyone who makes this happen for the last 27 years. I did produce a new vision for America the Beautiful as a Get Out the Vote video and song. I wrote 3 new verses to America the Beautiful. I call it America the Beautiful 2020, and award-winning bluegrass singer Claire Lynch and award-winning blues and gospel singer Leah Gilmore, all part of the Common Ground family, did the lead vocals on it. And we've gotten over 65,000 views on YouTube, and it was really a powerful thing to be part of. And so I'm really grateful, and that's on my new album, Our Better Angels, which was just released. And I'm really excited to be part of the Azalea City Recordings Cooperative here in Tacoma Park, Maryland. So Dr. King, one of his favorite quotes came from the abolitionist Unitarian minister Theodore Parker: "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it curves toward justice." And we sure hope they're right when we sure hope they're right. But in the last 4 years of darkness, I wanted to highlight a few times that were really very wonderful and full of power and spirit, including the Women's March on the Mall here in Washington, D.C. During inauguration weekend of 2017, and also the Black Lives Matter movement and all the people out in the streets of all races, and also the dethronement of the last guy, and how wonderful, and the election of 2 senators, a black man and a Jew from Georgia. So some wonderful things to be excited about in the midst of all the dark times. And this is a song celebrating some of that. It's called "You Can't Stop the Rain." Can't stop the rain or the rays of the sun. Can't stop flowers blooming when springtime has sprung. Can't stop the people from standing up strong, marching to the joyous beat of freedom's song. The darkness all around so deep, rich men rape the earth and have their way. The road ahead is oh so steep. May better angels win the day. You can't stop the rain or the rays of the sun. Can't stop flowers blooming when springtime has sprung. Can't stop the people from standing up strong, marching to the joyous beat of freedom's song. Let justice roll down like rivers, righteousness flowing like a mighty stream. Hateful men shoot down our prophets, but no one can ever kill the dream. Shine again, bright patriot vision, forged in love, in flame, blood and tears. Left for dead, newly risen, blazing bolder than our darkest fears. You can't stop the rain or the rays of the sun. Can't stop flowers blooming when springtime has sprung. Can't stop the people from standing up strong, marching to the joyous beat of freedom's song. Marching to the joyous beat of freedom's song.
Thank you, Jesse Palidofsky, wonderful songwriter and spirit. And I do encourage you all to go to Jesse's website and to find that amazing video that he produced. It's really, really a powerful thing. It's a great thing. Some great singing on it, and gives us some hope. Our next performer, I need to tell you how I found out about him. My friend Jim Coons from the social work department told me about this film called Baltimore Rising, and it was about the uprising, the Freddie Gray uprising, as they would call it. And I watched this film, and there was this person in this film that just blew me away with his honesty, his sincerity, and his drive to seek truth and to demand truth, and to demand people to step up to the plate. And I said to Jim, I said, the people that made this film, can I get to meet this guy? And we worked it out. We got to meet him, and lo and behold, we got Gennard Shadow Barr to come to Common Ground. I don't know how many years this has been going on now. It's at least 3, maybe 4. And let me just read.
It's actually 6 years. Just
6. Well,
yeah.
When you get to be my age, sort of stop counting. But let me read to you a little bit about Gennard. Shadow Barr is an activist and community leader who works as an addiction recovery specialist at the Penn North Recovery Center in Baltimore. I understand from talking to him that is no longer happening due to the pandemic. I could be wrong. He's featured in the documentary Baltimore Rising, directed by Sonia Sohn, and available on HBO. So you all can see this. Just go to HBO and check it out. During the tense time surrounding the death of Freddie Gray, through the trials of the police officers involved, and up to the present, Barr has worked tirelessly to bridge the gap between police and the community. Barr has a nuanced understanding of the burdens that young Black people in Baltimore carry, and is an advocate who speaks truth to power. I'm so glad to see you. So glad that you're back. Make welcome Shadow Barr, everyone.
Hello, how are you? Wasn't very well prepared for this, as That's not necessarily true. Um, um, there's a large part of the resume that is missing. I've actually been a rap producer for like since I was a kid, and I write a bunch of stuff. And I am trying. Can you hear that? Did you guys hear that loud splash of sound? All right, cool. I want to turn that down because it's loud. So, what I am going to do is the music that is playing. I'll give you a background. I know I only have 7 minutes, but the song is only like 3 or 4, so it shouldn't be much. It shouldn't be that bad. What you're listening to is a crew of me and my friends who grew up making music together. We only meet up like once every 10 years, and we do something like Common Ground on the Hill. It's more like, you know, there's a blues guitarist, there's a drum producer, that's me, a guy playing keyboards, his name is Sonny Bricks, and then there's a couple of us, so you'll hear a lot of things moving here. So that my presence is there, but I'm just using it to put together this piece that we have called, this piece that I made called Ménage à Trois. Now, I understand we all know what the term means, but it is more of, well, just listen to it and you can tell me what you take from it. And hopefully it's fairly easy for you to digest. So let's go here. Oh, did we just pause that again? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, Shadow, I think you need to turn the music up, I think. We can hardly hear the music. Yeah.
How's this? Better?
A little more.
That's about as loud as I can get it without
That's good.
That's cool. Doesn't matter. So there's a relationship that happens between necessity and environment that is rarely spoken upon. So I figured out a way to do that in a way that's easy to digest. So just kind of follow me for a second. It's listen, her name was Streets. Her first name was Florida. Her middle name Miami, but we all just called it Dade. Now, she was wild, beautiful, seductive, and dangerous, but she was there, understood my pain. I couldn't help but fall in love with her. She was all that I knew, had to be loved. She's the only thing that I do. Always letting me finger pop a while and I couldn't stop her. I'm just loving the way she let me raise her up like a papa. Always flirting with my homeboys. She getting them dollars, giving me lots of things, but she was really a problem and showing me things that my mother didn't want me to see. Molding me into something she didn't want me to be. As I grew older, I was stuck on her, and it's easy to see that everything she put me on to came so easy to me. We wasn't rich, but I ain't starved, man. My mama worked hard to feed, clothing, shelter, blockhead, and Lord Nard. The streets was cool. She smoked weed, stole cars, got drunk, sold dope to old folks in old bars. She loved me for a reason I ain't quite see coming. She went both ways. See, she had this girlfriend, Money liked me, but she looked at me like she wants something from me. And I was meant for both of them, so I thought like a dummy. See, they bosom buddies, and I knew Streets all my life. And Money, the type of chick you try to keep for a wife. My mama love her. My brother married to a cousin named Cash. Her mama fat. His name is Currency. Her pops is an ass. His name is Government. And homie got this fucked up budget. Excuse me, I smoke too much. That's a bit off the subject. See, I love Streets, but she got too many that hate me already because of my relationship with her. Not to say that she was mine, but we had understanding. Menage a trois when you're money, man. I was enchanted. Got me the best of friends, and they was both cool with it. Telling me how they like it, what they gonna do with it. Now I feel like I'm such a pimp, but I was really a fool because Money had me pussy up and played me out like a fool, and the streets knew it. She was watching. She showed me to play my ride or die chick, asking me if I was okay. She would have sex with me, then talk to me like a lover, then turn around and tell me that she loved me like a brother. Matter of fact, thinking about it, she used to mess with my brother messing with her cousin, talking about he still love her. Hell, I'm falling in love with Money, but I still love Streets. She showed me how to cook and how to flood the beach, how to hustle at 5 green, clean, white, no bleach, and how to saturate a speaker with this venomous speech. But Money taught me how to love. She was tender, she cared, and Money always had money she was willing to share. But this love was an illusion. She was more of a whore, and she had the kind of body that would take you to war. She was Had this boyfriend, he was then deep with streets, and apparently he was told the same thing as me. This little girl he knew as his daughter was kidnapped in the streets. Wow. This little girl he knew as his daughter was kidnapped by me. Shit. Wow. So we both seen it at the same time, a little too late. See, I'm all screwed and he's behind that gate. They found him with a weapon he was given a charge. And my place of death was Dade County, Arcola Park. They found him in the car with his blood on my jewelry at the same time when Streets was reading my eulogy, telling me how sweet I was and how she'd never forget me. And all the special nights when she had went out with me. But when my funeral was over, I was quickly replaced by another young man who had hunger in his face. See, it was love at first glance. He never stood a chance. She was drinking at a bar. Then she asked him to dance. She thought she was sweet, fine, and oh so funny. Now wait till she introducing the money. Menage a trois. I hope that was cool.
Yeah. Wow.
What'd you think, Booby? Nice? Okay, cool.
Fantastic. Wow, Shadow. That was, it only took 6 years to get you to rap. You have to do some more of this. It's so great.
It was about placement in time. And if you remember correctly, I told you the first time I came there, I am here to learn more so than speak. You can't be a good teacher if you stop being a student. Is that not correct, sir?
Yeah, but we need to hear from you. So I'm really glad to hear from you. And could we say hello to your wife?
Absolutely. Come. They're saying hi. They can't. You can say
hi. Good to see you again.
Wait. You got that? Can you hear?
Hi, everyone.
It's good to see you again.
Good to see you guys too as well.
Yep.
So next summer we'll have to be in person again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miss you guys. Big time.
Yeah. Miss you too. You all look like you're still in love. That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, well, ironically, there's an unspoken side effect of the pandemic. It actually brought me closer to a lot of people that I wouldn't actually personally speak to as often or have time to dissect things as much as you might have. Because I mean, you know me, I'm a 19-hour-a-day work dude. I still am. So, it's we got to spend a lot of time together. and
I think everybody can relate to that.
Yeah, and somehow I managed to not screw that up. So, chalk one up for husbands everywhere.
Well, it's great to see you, and let's stay in close touch and get together.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to it. And I hope you like that. I have a lot of pieces like that. Some of them are a little bit more angry. That's more of a... Okay, so the thing about it is, it's actually a combination of 3 true stories. So
yeah,
it's like 3 true stories, but it's like a lot of people, like even in the class I had today, it was like one of the questions I was like, I have this thing where, ask the black guy something you always wanted to ask black people without it being a whole thing. Right. So we did that today.
Cool.
One of the questions was, how do you get from one place to another? And that's literally how I chose the song, because that's how you get from one place to another. Something can start as innocent and sweet or as non-harmful as possible and snowball into an entire lifestyle, and the next thing you're on TV with one of these shots. They're calling you suspect, so it's not really that much of a stretch.
Well, I especially liked yesterday, I dropped in on your class and you were talking about creating a Bible for
allies.
For allies, yeah, and how we can all be allies. We don't even have to be friends to be allies.
I don't know. Like this, because that's how I do things. I give you this big grand concept, and it seems like something that may be out of reach, when in actuality, most of us are in this practice daily. We just don't give voice to it. And now, if I may, I hope you smile at what I'm about to say next. Now, with my white friends now being under the spotlight for behavior as it pertains to race, I find it, like now you guys are more afraid to speak about things because of how they'll be interpreted. So I've kind of dedicated a lot of my recent space to, answer questions. Like, don't be an asshole in the asking, but there's really no such thing as a stupid question. You know what I mean?
Right.
So And that's how we get, like, you know, you guys brought me to Common Ground. I'm like, okay, I'm like a rapper hood dude from Baltimore, from Miami, lives in Baltimore City, and I didn't really see how my presence would work in a particular context without learning what it is first. So once I learned that it's really about how music ties into social issues and how those social issues then form community, then it becomes, okay, well then hip hop definitely has a place here. You just have to
Oh yeah.
how to present that in a way, you know what I mean? Where it has to be respected generationally. Music has to be respected generationally, but you know what I mean? And certain things can be introduced because there are like many subgenres to the music that I make, but it's hard to decide which ones belong in a setting like this one. Like, you know, more of the spoken word, more organic feeling music would fit better at Common Ground, i.e. you would think something more like The Roots over, we'll say, Lil Wayne, who's incredibly talented. It's just that his style of music and the person that he is being, I'll keep that to myself, but the person that he is would contradict with most of the things that you are trying to accomplish. So that's what I spent 5 years learning by proxy.
Right.
Kind of soaking it up.
Well, we look forward to seeing what you're going to bring next year, and this has been great this year, and we got almost 3 more weeks of this, so let's hang in.
I'll be around, and we should do Common Ground in the City, like a little satellite thing where.
Absolutely.
I mean, because I'm retired now, so I have like time.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can like put together something. My wife works at a Mediterranean restaurant, and I was talking to her boss about a way to help, because, you know, restaurants are trying to rebuild, so we're trying to do this thing now where, you know, we're doing the community thing. Let's get the community behind the restaurants and behind this. And while we're doing all of that, since we have a world in turmoil, let's throw a Common Ground banner across it so we can invite even more people from different walks of life, promote the summer activities over different periods of time. It's just a thought. But like I said, I'm always working.
It's a good thought. It's a good thought. We will work on it. We all take care. Give our love to your kids.
No, I'm going to stick around. Or was I the last person?
No, there's more. There's
okay,
more.
Cool. I'm going to stick around for a bit and listen.
A hand for Shadow Barr, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Wow, Shadow is wonderful. Our next performer has been, gosh, he's done everything at Common Ground on the Hill. He was chairman of our board. He runs a thing called the Rambles, where he plays music and raises money for the vets. He's on the Veterans Initiative Committee, and he's a public defender and an advocate for people for his entire career, people who needed legal help. And this guy's got a heart bigger than his guitar. And make welcome all the way from Baltimore, hon, Tim Scully.
Hello. Hi, boys and girls. I'm Tim. That's a tough thing to follow. Usually when I'm doing a song, I'll do an old rock song or something. Last year, I believe I did Dancing Queen. But during the pandemic, I practiced playing a sitar. And listening to Scott Ainsley, I played it thousands of times. So I'm going to be doing a song about Scotland. I want to dedicate it to Charlie Murray, who's the father of my good friend Roy over in Scotland. He passed. I wish I could have been there, but COVID prohibited us from visiting him. So a song called Caledonia by Dougie MacLean. I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me these last few days. I've been afraid that I would slip away. I've been telling old stories, singing songs, thinking about where I belong, and that's the reason if I seem so far away today. But let me tell you that I love you. I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling, and I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, it would make me much more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I ever had. Now I have moved, kept on moving, proved the points that I needed proving, lost some friends that I needed losing, found others on the way. And I've tried and I've kept on trying, broken dreams, yes, there's no denying. I have traveled hard, sometimes with my conscience flying, somewhere with the wind. But let me tell you that I love you, I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling, and I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, it would make me much more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I ever had. I'm sitting here before the fire, the empty room, the forest choir, there's flames that couldn't get any higher. Well, they've withered now, they're gone. But I'm steady thinking my way is clear. I know what I will do tomorrow when the hands are shaking, the kisses flow, then I will disappear. But let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling, and I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, it would make me much more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I ever had. Caledonia's been everything. Scotland.
Oh, that's great, Tim. Yeah, and with a little bit of Loch Lomond there at the end. Fantastic. And we do miss our friends from Scotland. Some of them are going to be with us next week. And in fact, well, they're all over the place. We're going to be hearing a lot of music from our buddies in Scotland. Great Dougie MacLean song. Thank you so much, Tim. Our final performer of the evening comes to us from Westminster. And he is just a wonderful teacher and performer. Plays the guitar, he plays the ukulele, plays blues, uke, he plays the mandolin. He does it all. Has legions of students, and we're really lucky to have him on our staff. And he's been with us for a long time, but he gets younger looking every day. Make welcome to close us out, Christopher James.
Hello, thank you, Walt, and thank you, everybody. Even though we can't be together in person still, just to see everybody's face and to hear all the playing. There's some great harmonica playing tonight, and a lot of stuff. Just really enjoyed everybody's songs and the quotes that you were talking about, Pam and Charlie. that idea of that darkness can't drive out darkness and only light can drive out darkness, I think, and hate can't drive out hate, only love can drive out hate, is very important. And it's great when we have this time together where you get surrounded by people who remind you of things that you know are true inside, but everybody around, lots of voices in the world are constantly trying to convince you to ignore the truth that you know. So this is a song that speaks to a bit of that I wrote. I started writing when my daughter Sophia, who's 4 now, was just a little in a car seat and a little baby. And then about a year ago or so, the rest of the song kind of finished up. And I find that when you go deep enough inside and you get something very personal, a lot of times then you get to the point where you find what connects everybody. So this is a song for her and a song for everyone. It's called Painter of Pictures. Called Speak What's Been Written Before You Were Born, now exploding with beauty after lost for so long. Just don't let the world tear your heart down. Never let the world put your light out, 'cause there's time to grow. There's still time to sow, but the crime would be, yes, if you were not you and I was not me. What's been written before you were born, now exploding with beauty after loss for so long. Just don't let the world tear your heart down. Never let the world put your light out. Never let the world tear your heart down. Just don't let the world put your light out. Never let the world tear your heart down. Never let the world put your light out. Speak what's been written before you were born, exploding with beauty after loss for so long. Just don't let the world break your heart down. Never let the world put your light out. Thank you. Well, it's been great. It's great to see everybody tonight, and thank you. It's just an honor to be amongst so many wonderful, wonderful people who are doing everything they can from their hearts to try to do their best to make stuff better in this world. So I appreciate it, all of you, everybody tonight, and everybody who's a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris James. Thank you so much for being part of this. Yeah, it is great for us all to get back together. It's been a long year, tough year, but it seems like we've walked into the light here. And we encourage you to keep coming to Common Ground on the Hill. Tomorrow night, we have another concert. We're going to call it Americana Night with Wayne Fugate, wonderful mandolinist from New Jersey, David Morris, songwriter, Mike Atherton, whom we haven't seen in a good while. Mike Atherton will be back with us. Christopher Henry, who's an amazing mandolin player from down in Nashville. Mark Schatz will be playing tomorrow. And we'll have some dancing from Marcia Searles from Footworks. So this will be a great Americana Night, Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And remember, of course, to keep going to the art lectures, the art talks at 6:30 every evening, and the Search for Common Ground class. We'll see you there at 4 o'clock every afternoon. Thank you all so much for coming out, and we'll see you. If we don't see you in the future, we'll see you in the pasture. Take care, and we'll see you next time.